everybody, and welcome back to episode 11 of Tina's Tea. I am Tina from Owenneth Yarn and Fiber, and once again, we're going to make it a quick one because I don't want to sit here hemming and hawing and wasting your time. So, first up, what we got in the shop last week, and I'm doing this on a Tuesday because I want to get it done before tomorrow's Wildcard Wednesday. So, I think in the future, and by the future I mean this weekend, I'm going to go back to doing it on the weekends just because I feel like that's a more logical place to do a shop update on video. So anyway, first up we have this week's Wildcard Wednesday. So we have Frutetto, which as per usual is not going to be color accurate in this lighting. This is far too delicate for this lighting. However, you can kind of see the greens and the pinkish peach and the purpley pink. It's in the shop. You'll see much better pictures there. I did mention that I feel like, although this is not my usual style of yarn, I think this would be a really great contrast color if you're doing color work. So against like a dark brown or a dark green, I think this would be really freaking gorgeous. So I'm going to do some experimenting with that. So, I'm not putting a time frame on that. I'll get to it when I get to it. It could be 2027 for all I know. But I am curious, so I am going to be keeping this in the back of my mind. Next up, we have from the Halloween Advent, the Vintage Halloween Advent, we have Ichabod Crane. Ichabod! If you've ever seen the Disney movie, you know the song. Oh, goodness gracious, that looks super dark. Okay. If you hear a cat yelling, it's actually not one of my cats. There's the crazy cat lady just showed up to feed the ferals outside, and one of them, I'm not even joking, he likes to say hello, like actual hello, hello, hello. So if you hear a cat yelling hello, it's actually not one of mine. Anyway, this is Ichabod Crane. The inspiration for this was kind of like a midnight horseback ride. So you've got obviously midnight, like you've got like a leathery brown color. It's pretty masculine color, but it's also really autumnal and rich, and I do love it. I love it a whole lot, and I hope you love it too. It seems like everybody's loved it so far. So this is the first of the colorways from the Advent to hit the shop. So keep your eyes peeled because over the next few weeks I'm going to start rolling out the other colors too, day by day. So that's all for yarn in the shop. If you are a top tier Patreon person and you haven't gotten to me yet about what base you want this month's colorway on, or if you want a different colorway, do let me know. I think there's 3 of you. I'm not going to name you and shame you, but I think there's 3 people so far that haven't quite gotten back to me yet. So if you're watching this, I do have the first batch in the bucket, so you'll be in the next batch. I'll probably just wind up hunting you all down, though, which is no big deal. No big deal. Next up, we have... Pescadios. Okay, I didn't drop any stitches. This is why stitch stoppers are so important. We have the second panel of the chunky sweater I'm working on. Look how the black just kind of like disappears. I have the first panel done, but it's kind of under some stuff and I don't feel like digging it out on camera. So this is the beginning of the second panel. This will probably be the back panel, I guess. I don't know. I really like the way the first one came out, so I think I'll have that as like the front just because people will see it more, I guess. I don't know if it really makes a difference. There was quite a bit of variation in the way this yarn dyed up, which is another reason I'm glad I booted it from the shop because, you know, I kind of like consistency here, especially if somebody's planning like a sweater or a blanket or something. You know, you want consistency between the skeins as much as possible, and this yarn is just it's a fun adventure, but it's not exactly, I mean, this is one of the yarns it's the reason for people alternating skeins every row, because it's just that's not a white spot, is it? No, it just looks white on camera. That's not actually a white spot. So yeah, working on that. Oh, I also, that was this week, right? That I put last month's Patreon yarn in the shop. So if I could just grab that. I've been working on a hat for a friend. So this is, and I think I've shown this on camera before. This is Candle in the Window. I've definitely shown this before. It's knitting up beautifully. I'm doing a pretty simple hat pattern for a friend here who is probably not watching this, so I'm just going to tell you what I did here if you would like to grab a skein and copy it yourself. So this is on my Divinity DK base. That's the cashmere blend. And what I've done is I cast on 112 stitches on size 6 needles. And I love my silly little stitch stoppers. Every time, past the ribbing is 2x2 ribbing. So once I got to the main body of the hat, every time I get to the colored portions here, the ones that aren't blue, I purl and then just knit on top of it. And then you get these cool little like garter ridges where the colors are. I haven't figured out how I want to handle the crown decreases yet. I haven't figured out quite how slouchy I want to make it. I don't think he has a super huge head, so I don't think I'll make it like super slouchy. But I think he's really going to like this hat. I really like this hat. So, yeah, highly recommend. It's fun. It's pretty mindless. It's great for beginners. So, let me know if you guys want me to write the pattern up. Not that there's much to write, but if that's something you'd be interested in, I'd be happy to do that. And just offer it as a free pattern. So, yeah, I think he's really going to like that. I really like that. And this month's Patreon yarn, for those of you who have seen it, it also has a dash of color that would be super cool in that colorway, in this pattern. That colorway would be super cool in this pattern, is what I'm trying to say. I might have to dye myself one, just because. So anyway, I think that's about it. Oh, there was something I wanted to ask you all, each and every one of you watching this. So I have an affinity for, you know what? I'm going to pause this for a minute and I'm going to go grab that yarn. Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay. So I have this yarn that I bought off of Temu. And as you can see, it is extremely very colorful. It is cheap acrylic. And it is super duper soft, like super duper alley ooper, next to skin soft. I have a thing for cheap acrylic, like cheap, colorful, something nicer than Red Heart, because Red Heart tends to be a little scratchy. But there are so many cheap and beautiful acrylic options these days. So I was wondering if anybody out there feels the same way as I do about obnoxious, cheap acrylic and brilliant, vibrant colors, would you like to do an ugly acrylic sweater make along with me? I know already there's some of you out there that absolutely love this stuff and you are in, but I just want to see who else might be interested. Obviously, I'm not going to make any money off of this, but there will be prizes, and it would go until the end of the year. So you would have plenty of time to make your ugly acrylic sweater. And of course, ugly is in air quotes because it's, it doesn't have to be like ugly. Of course, there are ugly acrylic yarns out there. But, a lot of people would consider this to be like clown barf ugly. And so by ugly, I just mean perhaps not elegant or not, well, it's certainly not beige. It might be loud, it might be tacky, it might be obnoxious. I love it. So if anybody else wants to make a ridiculous, ugly acrylic sweater with me in clown barf colors, please feel free to let me know below. If I can get like 10 people interested, I will put it on the spreadsheet because, we've got like a little spreadsheet going on in our corner of the internet for make-alongs. So if anybody's interested, let me know. There's just something about getting a sweater's worth of ridiculously cheap and tacky acrylic that just scratches like a dopamine itch for me or something. Like, it's visually stimulating, it's cheap, it's fun. It just makes me feel good. It's like if you could just plop me in front of an 80s cartoon marathon with a bunch of this yarn and tell me to knit a sweater, and I'd just be happy as a lark all day. So, yeah, if anybody else is interested and you want to also make a ridiculous sweater with me, because I'm going to do it regardless. I'm taking the plunge. I'm definitely at least casting on and starting something. I will tell you where I'm going to get my pattern from. And of course, you can pick any pattern in the world you want. I think I'm just going to be doing I'm going to go to that raglan calculator site and just do a top-down raglan, because that's just what I always do. So, I mean, I don't know. As of right now, that's what I'm feeling like doing, because it's simple, it's mindless. I've knit plenty of raglans before. I just kind of know how it goes, and it's comfortable, and I don't want to think too much while I'm knitting. So, no, this is not the time to sit and talk about all of the sweaters that I didn't finish from last year. So you just calm your tits. Shh, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this. This is 2026, baby. So if anybody's interested, please let me know so that we can set that up. So anyway, I think that's about all I had to say on the matter of everything. The matters of everything. If you would like to join the Patreon and get your own mini of the month or yarn of the month or stitch marker of the month, I will leave the link below. If you would like to stay abreast of all my yarn shenanigans, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you aren't already. And thank you for watching, and I will see you real soon. Bye-bye.